what's your role, your responsibilities, what you have to do within the compositions that you're going to play, and try to break down more in-depth concepts, right? Try to give you concepts, not to apply on this map specifically, but to help you increase the game knowledge that you have on the current role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's all I want actually,
All
to
right.
know what I'm supposed to do.
So two things before we start. The first one is, feel free to stop me anytime you want. All right. If something is left unclear, please let me know. And the second one is, I really, really benefit a lot from you telling me what's going through your heads, like in the gameplay, right? Okay, I
Okay,
did
yeah,
this jump because I wanted to do this, or right, because at the end of the day, in Overwatch there are multiple answers to certain problems, and
yeah,
all of them are correct. But the things depends on the style, right? So if I can see a play that's wrong, and you tell me, okay, I was like trying to do this, maybe the thinking behind it is correct, but the play is badly executed, or vice versa, right?
yeah.
Awesome. Then Oasis is this. I'm just going to get rid of the sound. So it's going to be Hanzo. Okay. So you're playing ball, Hanzo. Farah, I guess.
Yeah, Farah Mercier and Orisa, I think it was right, and Bap.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Awesome. Is this before I send you the video or after?
This
Like, is it
after, but not everyone has watched the video yet.
okay? All right.
This was a scrim from last night.
Yeah. Here I was generally fucked because I didn't hear where we're supposed to go, so I just followed the ball. I didn't hear that we was going right to point.
All right.
So that
So
was just a mistake from me.
mm, I'm just going to um open up with a very basic concept that I think I said in the video, the three lane, right?
Hmm.
So the three lane concept basically
Left
coming
flank,
from a
right
MOBA
flank,
style.
main.
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, left flank, right flank, main, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, we have the left flank, we have main, right, and we have the right flank. This is a concept that comes from MOBA directly and has a really big impact in how you want to play maps, right? So, very moment right now, the what's the nature of Hanzo, right? The nature of Hanzo is a hero that plays a range that has a really nice time, you can say, at close range, but usually he wants to play it at a medium to large range. So usually what you want to do in these three lanes, right, is always rotate in a way where the rotation basically maximizes the amount of space, right, that you have between you and the enemy team, right? This means that following a ball is never an option because the ball is supposedly, or yeah, supposedly opening in a different way, right? You always need to look where your Orisa is, and even if your Orisa is taking for example, a middle path, where is the fight going to happen, right? And what's the position you're going to benefit from the most? Going
Yeah.
high ground in these gardens is always gardens. I don't know if it's gardens. No, this is whatever. In this map, right? Going always right, like to the full right, to the left right flank, is going to maximize the chances, right? Why? Because the map is something like this,
Yeah.
right? So going always playing around here is always the correct option, right?
Yeah.
Because if you play like this, right, you are super close to the enemy rotation. And if you go main, you are directly in the enemy rotation, right? So always going for Hanzo is right, or any kind of hit scans, you want to open always like this, right?
Okay.
So you, for example, you don't encounter this, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So as I said, one of the core ideas of the comp you're playing is setting up the crossfire, right? The hero you're playing is extremely independent. The hero you're playing wants to set up the crossfire on his own, right? And you want to punish them, or you want to start dealing damage as soon as you can, right? Here, Hanzo is not a hero that is going to stay as a turret mode, right? You don't stay as a turret mode in this platform, and basically you start shooting arrows as you see people. No, you need to look for them. Let's going down here. The moment you use the sonic arrow here, and you spot that they might go this way, you need to encounter them. Why? Because the sooner you start shooting arrows, the sooner you're going to force enemy cooldowns. For example, shields, making the rotation much more sloppy on their side, right? At the end of the day, an Orisa, the moment Orisa drops the shield, they cannot move forward that much. They need to use the other shield, right? The Sigma shield, which means
Yeah.
that only to cover one Hanzo, they are using a lot of shields, right? Especially since the fact that with the position you're playing right now, right? If you play a tiny bit to the door, you can also cover the Pharah that is going to play around your top right. Sorry, your top left. Right. At the end of the day, what I mean with this is the three lanes again hit here, and you need to be in the position where, or more or less, actually, let me take the correct image. So it's Oasis. Here we go. Is this one? All right. So here you can see, right? This
Yeah.
is main, right? This is one flank, and this is the other flank, right? Since in the King of the Hill maps they are symmetric, this stuff happens. What Hanzo wants is, at the end of the day, you're going to generate an advantage, right? You will play here, for example, right? These guys rotating like this, you're going to face them, right? But at the same time, you're going to be able to cover this Pharah. For example, let's say that this Pharah gets down, right?
Yeah.
The Pharah is the one that your Pharah is the one that is going to develop the flank. But for example, for whatever reason, right, the enemy team rotates like this. One of the key things about Hanzo is that he can flank on his own, and he can establish a crossfire on his own, which means that if your Reese is playing main, you can play around here,
Okay.
right? I happen to play a lot of Hanzo, and I'm going to show you a video more or less of how the type of playing you want to, or the type of movement that you want to do is. Where is this? Okay. Mm, 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 mm. All right. So again, Hollywood, right? We are
Yeah.
defending Hollywood. They are pushing main, all of them. So in Hollywood, you're right. You can see the lanes right now. IT is one lane. They are pushing main, and there is the stairs that is the other lane, right?
Yeah.
The other flag. So what I'm doing is basically covering one of the lanes, and since they are not confronting me directly, what I'm going to do is going to push that lane. Why? Because I can. Because the hero can. Right? This is the idea behind Hanzo's kit, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is going to push. Is going to push based on my Sonic Arrow without using neither the storm arrow nor my jump as possible, if possible, because those are the disengage or close quarter combat tools that you have.
Okay.
Right? Whenever you execute a flank like this, you always go with your primary fire. You see that nobody's looking at me, right?
Yeah.
This is the idea that you can do on a daily basis with Hanzo. Every single time that you can go for this type of plays, every single time try to go for them. Because Hanzo is such a powerful hero, right? That you can basically do this and finish off basically everyone at the same time, and with no risk for you. Because as you can see in every single moment, right? Well, here I use my elite, but for example, what's going on through my head right now? This Genji counters me directly. This is a hero that I don't really want to face in a 1v1. So what I'm going to do is shoot a one body shot or a headshot if possible, and completely disengage because I want to get rid of the situation, right? So this is why I shoot the arrow and I keep going right. Since I hit the body shot and I kill him, then it's when I go back. But there is no risk for me of dying whatsoever, right? While
Yeah.
I do all of this, right? And this is because of the concept of the three lanes, right? Which is extremely important as you play Hanzo. One
Okay.
of
Yeah.
one of the one other other example will be I just happen to play a lot of Hanzo, so I have some examples. The same thing, right? Attacking instead of defending, right?
Yeah.
What I do is basically again Sonic Arrow, get one pick, right? I cannot move, I cannot push. So again, defend the position that I have right now. The strategies, the tactic position I have inside of the room, people need to peek into me. So as long as I control the choke points with the Sonic Arrow, I know what's going on the other side, right?
Yeah.
I know if it's easy to push or not. I don't shoot. I don't want to reveal myself. And then when the Genji goes in, is when I support him with the Storm Arrow. And then I have another position that I don't leave. At the end of the day, the idea of Hanzo is this one, right? The amount of pressure you can put moving around the map like this based on the control, and then the amount of damage output that you can have with being basically untouchable. Nobody here is looking at me, basically.
Yeah.
And this is the concept of the Hanzo playstyle. It's in solo queue, yes, but the idea of the hero is it's so powerful that you can do it on team environment. Obviously, you need to call for it, right? You need to I'm flanking or I'm going on the flank, etc. I'm going on a solo mission, but you can definitely do it, right? The more
Okay.
unpredictable you can become, the better.
Yeah.
You see that how with your movement, right? Oops, you completely denied every single piece of line of sight that you possibly had. Right now, your field of view, your field of view is obviously what you see on your screen, right? How good is it for a sniper? It's extremely bad. You have a lot of right
Yeah.
structures in front of you. Your field of view is covered with bad structures, right? You don't have a clean corridor or a clean open area where you can, right? The thing is, the moment you give up high ground, right? Because right now, in this position, this is a risky position. Yes, because like the enemy team is really close to you, but at the same time, they don't know that you are there, right? So here is this is a flanking spot that that you can have. You can go here again. Use the Sonic arrow on the corner to see what's going on the other side of the corner. Pick, shoot, storm arrow, go for kills, etc. People turn onto you. You have the jump to go away. They keep chasing. You can always drop and jump, or you can keep go. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if they chase you, they are going to stop the push from here and move it from to here, which means that your Orisa, for example, can push forward and punish them and pincer them. Right?
Yeah.
The idea of Hanzo is you don't want to destroy shields. You want to ignore them.
Okay.
Right now, look at what's on top of you. Completely lost control of the line, of control of the high ground, which means that you are the one getting pincered. You have a Sigma on top of you. You have a far on the other side, and you have possibly the Orisa in front of you, which means that it's a triple crossfire. Which means that right now you don't have a place where to stand. Do you see how forced this is for you?
Yeah.
Every single shot. This is not that you have bad aim, okay?
Yeah.
It's simply that the shots that you are taking. First of all, the way you aim, doesn't make sense. And secondly, the shots you are taking are all of them extremely difficult. Like a lot of people, you possibly have heard a lot of people saying, or even maybe you said this yourself, like, "Hey, my aim is inconsistent," right?
Yeah.
The problem is not that your aim is inconsistent. The problem is you are taking shots that are really hard to hit. And those days that you hit those shots are like, oh, godlike. But at the end of the day, you are taking a shot that is only going to hit 2 times out of 10, which means 20% of the times, right? And obviously, that's something that's not consistent. What you want to do is to be in a position that allows you to go for shots that are 8 or 9 out of 10 times. How do you do that? Not giving high ground, always keeping the distance, right? Working with the tools that your hero has, right? Here you're shooting directly on top of you, which means that the flicks. This is a movement that your wrist is not used to do. Because how many heroes are on top of you, right? Not many. Pharah is maybe the only one with Genji double jumping, right? So this is a movement that your wrist has no memory on it, which means that the chances of you hitting this type of shots are really hard. At the same time, the enemy Hanzo is shooting your tanks, which means that much easier to hit, which means that your damage is going empty, his damage is going directly on tanks.
So I shouldn't be shooting the ferry. I should be focusing on the Hanzo and the tanks.
Exactly,
Okay.
focusing on the crossfire and putting damage on a reliable side. Right? Your job is not to kill the Pharah. This is why you have a Pharah, right? Your
Yeah.
job is you can assist the Pharah as long as you don't have anything better to do,
Okay.
right? The way you aim is extremely important because you look at this shot. Like how many times on your life you're going to be in this situation? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's really hard for you to keep track of what's going on. So a situation like this, when you are in the high ground here and you want to pick, right? Whenever you are playing a projectile, you need to use parts of the map as a reference.
Okay.
A hit scan, aiming with a hit scan is pure aim. It's like, okay, this is the enemy hitbox. This is where I need to place the crosshair, right? Super
Yeah.
straightforward. But a projectile is not the same thing because you do that and the projectile is never going to hit if the enemy target moves. Correct?
Yeah.
So people when play projectiles, Hanzo is a bit hybrid because you have the Storm Arrow that's almost hit scan, but the pure projectiles, for example, Pharah or the primary fire from Hanzo, etc. How do they work? You need to shoot at places instead of at people. You need to shoot at places. And how do you do that? You need to find reference right, within the map. For example, let's say that you have a Widowmaker here, correct? If you
Yeah.
play like this, right, you need to aim, right? You have this choke point, and the Widowmaker is playing on it. You need to find a place where you can shoot your arrows, and that place is in the middle. Why? Because the middle is the most reliable place. It's the place where the Widow is going to be around the most time, correct?
Yeah.
But in the projectile versus hit scan interaction, if you use an angle, or if you choose, if you use two, it's way better for you because she's trying to kill you, but you're going to kill her too. What happens if you take this angle right here of this and this one, right? And you position in a way where your field of view gives you this. There is only one pixel in between both, right? Where you are going to shoot your arrow. If the enemy Widowmaker tries to contest this pixel from you, she needs to be extremely good to hit a bullet in a pixel, where you're going to be just peeking for half a second. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're constantly raining arrows from here. So your chances of actually hitting, right? Since you can do blind damage, you can just shoot one arrow, cover yourself, shoot another arrow, cover yourself, are always extremely high because she's going to be contesting the line of sight.
Okay.
Same thing happens if you want to line up shots against people that are not looking at you. For example, recreating or going back to this, if you go to this situation right here, I mean, this is possibly not the best one because this covers what's below, I think, or no, maybe not. Okay, anyway, there is this corner right here, right?
Yeah.
the enemy team right now is playing like this or is a Sigma, etc. Right? What happens if you just pick one corner, one pixel, boom, shot, 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 shot. Just spam it, right? What's going to happen since you're covering only one angle? The arrows are most likely to hit,
Yeah.
and you don't need to aim. You just pick, boom, pick, boom, which makes your damage output way more reliable, way faster, and you can build dragons really, really fast. What happens that whenever you get pushed, you can always use again Sonic Arrow to cover yourself. So if someone is going to push into your line of sight, you can line up a shot based on this corner and go
Okay.
for it. It's really important that you understand this because this is going to maximize the potential that you have on the arrow, especially aiming. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you real quick one player. Uh, where is this guy? I had a session with him about Hanzo, right? I was explaining about, speaking about this, and he sent me this clip 2 hours afterwards. Do you see the shots being lined up, right, with the angles?
Yeah.
Oops. This is how you do it, and this is the result. Basically, you hit. It seems it seems that you hit everything. In fact, he got accused of hacking. All right. Till here, everything makes sense, right? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. For example, in a situation like this, it's fine for you to use to just break shield. It's fine. The problem is the relationship that you have uh, between the Farah and you. You are good against Farah when she is the one that needs to recontest it to you. As long as you have distance between you and her, you are good against her. But
Okay.
the moment she is the one that's on top of you, you are going to struggle a lot. Which means that against a composition like this, it's way better for you to just go on again on a solo mission. For example, if the whole team goes left, you go right. Because at the
Okay.
end of the day, right, you can always jump, go up, go down. Like there is so many ways you can survive. Right, you have your jump, right? So you're going to put way more pressure like that. Obviously, it's scary. Don't get me wrong. It's scary, like being alone, and at the end of the day, you have 200 HP. But the amount of pressure you can put is so big. This is the problem of pushing main, right? Pushing main, the amount of damage that you did. Like, look at this. This you have done in 3 minutes. You have done 1.2k damage, right? And you have died 3 times. The problem with this is since you're playing with your team, right? You are focusing a lot on shields, right? The shields are taking the most part of your damage output, which means that those shields are getting a lot of value. right? Since you are losing the battle in the air, your Pharah is getting, or the Pharah is getting more value, which means that you're getting poked way more time than the enemy team. Not meaning that, hey, if I flank, I'm going to hit headshot the Pharah 10 out of 10. No, but you can put the spam on the Orisa's back. You can alleviate the pressure that they have on the choke point.
Okay, yeah.
Here you should be calling it out. I'm gonna actually get comes on. The way you receive a call, which is we use the bongo lamp or bongo window. Usually
Yeah.
the biggest difference in terms of comms, right? You probably have someone, right, who is the shot caller.
Yeah.
What do you think a shot caller does?
What is it called? Usually, like makes the call where we set up, where we go.
Uh, kinda. The shot callers makes the call about what you're going to use, for example, next fight, etc. Which means that, for example, shot calling will be we use, right, bongo window. But when you make a plan, right, when you make a plan, you don't say I want to bongo window because you need to answer certain questions. Where are you going to bongo, right? Where? How? Right? How
Yeah.
how do we push? What do we do? Right? When? When do you bongo? Right? Because when you communicate like this, or when people communicate like this, like hey, use this, it's up to the player to see the opportunity to use the bongo to the best interest. But if you're able to answer these questions, for example, let's say that the shot caller says, "Let's pull dragon," right? Is it your responsibility, and this is a hard thing to do, is in your responsibility to tell the Orisa, hey, I want to drag on this. I want to drag on that. I want to drag on if they push us. I want to drag on because that creates an environment where everyone in the team knows what you want to do, where you want to do it, and when you are you going to do it. So people get ready. People can get ready to follow that up. People can get ready, for example, if they use lamp, uh, the fire is ready to break the lamp. If people get hidden, the ball can push them into the dragon again. Because people can help you gain value out of your ultimate. It's not about you on Orisa against the world. It's the whole team trying to make the most value out of the combo that you're going to use or open with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's extremely important as a player that you don't need to be, as a DPS, you don't need to be extremely vocal. In any team, no team is going to ask you for that. But what you have to do, or what you should be doing, or start doing, is this one. Like whenever you have an ultimate and whenever you want to use it, possibly in your head. If you play solo queue, these are these are questions that you ask yourself, right? Hey, when I have dragon, when I use it, okay, when they are in this corner right here on this corridor, you make your own micro plans to try to gain an insane ult or insane value. Now you have a
Okay.
team that can help you with that.
Yeah.
So it can be easier or should be easier to put the enemy team right in a bad spot.
Okay. Yeah. Our team we have the construct like we have shot caller, target caller, and then we have me and Kevin on the DPS who's doing the ult planning for the next fight. Do you
Mm,
think is it like the only the shot callers actually gonna do that?
the shot caller, for example, I'll tell you the communication system that we have in our team, right? In contenders, we have a shot caller. That's the main support,
Yeah.
right? This is the main support. But the shot caller only what the shot caller says is, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to do pull dragon, or I want to do bongo window, or I want to do whatever.
Yeah.
Then it's up to each player whenever they get called. Like for example, let's go with mines, right? That's the call that the shot caller makes. And then is this ball player. Okay, I'm going to mine left, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to mine over tanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we have obviously a target caller that depends on what type of composition we are playing. Right now, we are moving into dive a lot, so target caller is the Winston, and at the same time we have a someone that calls the pathing. If we or the tempo, we can go left. We want to go right. We want to push. We want to do it slowly. We want to do it faster. That's the main tank too. The main tank as the spearhead in dive is the one that sets that up everything, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of planification, each player each player tries to make, because no one better than them knows, right? No one better than them knows if the dragon has big value here or not than you, because you are the one that's putting hours on Hanzo. You are the one that have faced this situation millions of times, and your experience is way valuable, way more valuable. I'm telling you, okay, you want to dragon here? I want, if we want to dragon here, I want to do it this way because it's the best possible way that I think can make us win. Make sense?
Yeah.
So each one of the players should do it. Like whenever you want to do a play with your team or a play with your ult, just let your team know. Try
Okay.
to turn the micro into macro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Did you get did you get call to dragon here? Let me check. Oh, sorry.
I don't think I did.
You saw just the call. Okay. Your mouse is not hitting you at any time. So how does the healing works here in this composition is Baptiste, right? Baptiste should be healing the tanks, and Mercy healing the DPSs. Because usually she can just fly, right?
Yeah.
Where she's standing right now, she can just fly, and she's the one that can go extremely fast to target. Baptiste needs to jump, blah 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 blah. Right? On force you to lose the high ground. That's something that you don't want. You never want to lose the high ground, all right? Because the view from there is just so better, so much better than from here. There is no tracking whatsoever where the fire is. Not at all. The Baptiste gets hit by the fire, and he doesn't tell you where the fire is. Your position is so bad that you don't see what's on the skies. Right? You are breaking multiple rules of his scanning here. You are not controlling the lanes. You are not controlling the fire. You are not maintaining the distance, and you are not playing the high ground. Which all of that leads to you being in a position where the only possible arrow that you can shoot is in this tiny angle, right? That is not going to make a difference, right? Because the main threat is on top of on top in the air, right? So you don't see this coming at all, so you cannot react to that. A hit scan is not basically as a rule of thumb. A lot of people pick hit scans when recontesting. Usually, if the Pharah player knows what he's doing, a hitscan is not a good option because hitscans don't counter Pharah in situation like this. Hitscans counter Pharah when they have line of sight and distance between them and the Pharah. But if the Pharah is playing on top of the hitscan on the other side of a choke point, there is no line of sight possible, which means that the Pharah counters actually hitscans. They cannot step inside, and the hitscans need the tanks, and the tanks are going to receive massive damage from the Pharah from outside. So the idea, whenever you want to recontest, still, if you want to go for a hits, can go for it. But usually, you want to play fast. You want to play heroes like Dive, Sombra, Tracer, Genji, Doomfist, those kind of heroes. Even Soldier 76 can work. Okay. Okay. The good old Reaper. Do you want me to focus on one hero specifically, or do you want to just watch the entire round?
No, I want like what you gone through on the first map actually, like positioning and what I'm supposed to do. Because
Okay.
that sometimes I have no clue whatsoever what to do
Awesome.
or where I'm supposed to be like positioned. So this is fine.
Sorry. Okay. First of all, usually the rollout. I mean, following their tanks is fine, but the moment you don't see a Mason, sorry, a May Reaper, you need to speed on these guys extremely fast. Even if they have Reaper whatever, you need to split on them. You need to go on them and kill them really fast. That's what Reaper does.
Okay.
And then I feel like you're flicking too much.
I've been told that before. I do like micro flicking.
Yeah, you're not doing constantly tracking. So the idea of your Reaper, usually Reaper is a hero that has a lot of weaknesses, which are, for example, lack of range, lack of constant mobility, right? Lack of, I don't know, armor, for example. So the whole composition that you're playing right now is built around making the Reaper able to reach the enemy team. Because once he reaches the enemy team, he's just really good. But the biggest problem that he has is reaching that team, right? So this is why one of the compositions that works. What's the problem? The problem is with the amount of shields that you have, right? With the amount, it's really difficult to have an impact. So what usually Reapers players do is you give your team shield advantage. For example, here you destroy the shield, and then when you should be looking for a TP opportunity on the backline, because what the
Okay.
Reaper wants to do is just, for example, you're shooting here, right? And the moment this goes down and the Orisa is going to shield, you TP here, you drop, you kill the Zenyatta, and you come with raid form. That's something that you can do multiple amount of times, every single time,
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
right? With Reaper gameplay is extremely easy. Just you can repeat this basically all the times you want. Okay. So this is correct. Playing here is fine. But again, here, the moment you break the shield, you see the TP?
Yeah.
Like behind them? Drop
Yeah.
on them?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have this feeling that might be difficult for you to follow up the focus target. Why is that?
Um, I don't know actually. I think I'm in my like own little world sometimes when I play.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm zoning out sometimes.
I see. Okay. Against a comp like this, the only thing you have to do is just play in the open. Like they have a Mei, but they have a Hanzo. Okay, so your brawling potential is way better. They have no speed, and you do. So you want to play in open areas. How do you play in open areas? For example, here like this. What is the map? This one, university. Play this area. Why? Because there is no single wall that they can possibly do in order to hit all of you, and then you can snowball from there really hard.
Yeah.
And whenever you're in a spot like this, just go for plays like hiding here, hiding here, hiding here, like on plays like Bongo Reaper, etc. Always hiding, right? Because they usually players they don't know even in the at the highest levels they don't know how to scout. They don't spend time because for them time is so valuable that they just want to rush payload. And then is when if you are intelligent enough or smart enough, you can outplay that by hiding, by setting up a play, etc., etc. Mhm. Don't focus too much on destroying shields, okay? I know it's disfactorial, but still. You see that one of the key things is you're probably you're going to use your ultimate in the next fight, or at least you want to have a big impact as a river. You are not positioning in a way that is going to allow you that. You're just
Okay.
walking around, right? Instead of saying, "Hey, what's the play that we are going to do? Where do I need to set up?" For example, in this situation, right? You are on the left, completely on the left, and they say they are pushing right. There you go, the Hanzo movement. You just slowly go into the back line and kill all of them. Why do you TP here? You're fungling here pretty well. You can go on the flank here. Are you not feeling comfortable on yourself?
I don't know. I just have like the feel when I'm playing Reaper with like a Mei, I feel like I'm the one like who should like be with the tanks and do like enough damage to the shield so we break them.
Mm, that's one point. The only thing is again, why doing damage to shield when you can just ignore them? Right. The
True.
thing is, the Baptiste is playing, and the Sen is playing isolated. Like you can just TP on the Sen and kill them really fast. Well, that's a bit of an overkill.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go fast with the. You play Reaper here again?
I think I'm switching to McCree. Yeah.
Oof. Right, then I'm going to stop it here if you don't mind, because with 5 minutes we cannot do much. So, questions that you might have.
Yeah, the first map, the with the high ground thing when I played Hanzo first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to play more on the high ground than the low
Always,
ground? That's
always on
the
the high ground. Always.
always on the high ground. Yeah, okay.
There is no downside to play on the high ground at all.
Yeah, and flank more as Reaper.
Flank more as Reaper, flank more as Hanzo.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Right. Reaper is extremely easy to do it. Right.
yeah,
You just help your tanks. Right. When
yeah.
you reload, you TP behind, for example, and you go for a kill, etc. You just rise into your team, rise and repeat.
Okay,
Right.
yeah,
Then summarizing. Then call your ultimates. First of all, call the ultimates and what you want to do with them. Second of all, your positioning, especially as Hanzo, you need to be in the high ground all the time, covering the entire map. Because at the end of the day, if no one is able to shorten the distance with you, no one is going to kill you. And
okay,
when someone is able to shorten the distance without you knowing, that's possibly when you are dead. Right, so control the lanes, control them up, be aware of rotations, para coming from behind, blah blah blah. Whatever it happens, you need to know,
okay,
right? And that's only achievable if you are in the high ground. Second thing, you are going to be able to ignore more shields because of the projection you have. Since you are up there, you don't need to shoot horizontally. You can shoot a bit down, right? Which means that you can ignore shields, basically, pretty much. And then
okay,
flanking, definitely. Like you need to have the confidence of knowing, okay, if I go into the flank now and I have two free arrows, I'm going to hit those arrows. Are going to cause massive damage.
okay.
All right.
And more tracking and less flicking, I guess. Yeah,
No, the flicking can work on Hanzo, and it works when you are on a close range.
yeah,
But on a long range, if you do a flick, it's not going to work. You need to again aim at places and use angles all
yeah.
the time. Get used to it because it feels like you are cheating at some point.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Then if you excuse me, guys, 5 minutes. I need to go to the bathroom,
Okay.
and we can go with Ed or Kevin.
Kevin,
Okay.
please.
Okay. There